It's such an honor to be here tonight, and I want to say hi to everyone on the Facebook live stream. Hi, guys. I know you're there watching. Everyone here is so incredible. I am very excited. We have not met yet, but I'm very excited to meet Dr. Sugar Baker. I don't know where he is. He's here somewhere. But it's an honor to be here with him. He is who pioneered CRS and HIPEC, advancing the entire field of treating abdominal cancers. He transformed what was once considered untreatable into something with real hope. Thanks to him, I now have a scar from here to here. In our community, we call CRS and HIPEC the mother of all surgeries. I think that makes Dr. Sugar Baker the grandfather of all surgeries, but I'm not sure, so we'll figure that out later. What I do know is that he's the reason none of us can ever just have a quick procedure and go home the same night. In 2021 was a big year for me. I finished paying my student loans at the age of 39. I ran my fourth and strongest marathon, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 appendix cancer. On the bright side, my credit score was back to being open for some new medical debt. With the exception of being in a room like this, nobody really knows of appendix cancer. The closest thing we have to a celebrity spokesperson would be Audrey Hepburn. She passed away in 1993 after having a very late diagnosis and before CRS and HIPEC was really a thing. So I don't think that she's very relevant as a spokesperson for us. We don't even have our own color. So everyone knows breast cancer, the entire month of October, everyone wears pink, there's pink ribbons everywhere, the world turns pink. Our color is yellow, and we share yellow with sarcoma, blood cancer, bladder cancer, bone cancer, not to mention missing children awareness and suicide awareness. I saw recently on the Today Show that they were wearing yellow ribbons, and I actually reached out to Bo and I said, hey, Bo, I think we're gaining some popularity. They're wearing yellow ribbons on the Today Show. And he said, no, Lindsay, it represents Nancy Guthrie's return, because yellow ribbons also represent missing people returning. So we don't even have that. When people hear any other cancer, they respond with, wow, you are so strong. That is not what we get. We get, wow, at least you didn't need your appendix. No, you're right, I didn't need my appendix. I also did not need my entire colon or my ovaries that were removed during this 12-hour surgery known as the mother of all surgeries, which I would like to call Child Protective Services on. Prior to my diagnosis, my symptoms were constantly dismissed as common for women. Being the type A stubborn person that I am, I was determined to prove my doctors wrong, which is when I learned that winning is not always the goal. It turned out I had a grapefruit-sized ovarian cyst on my right ovary that was removed laparoscopically by a gynecological oncologist named Dr. V, for Villela, not vagina, which I know that's what you guys were thinking, and that's hard to say in front of a big group. A week later, I heard what nobody ever expects to hear: you have appendix cancer. And that's not because I thought I was invincible, it's because I've never heard of appendix cancer before. From there, things moved really fast. I met with a smorgasbord of specialists, from GI oncologists, GYN oncologists, fortune tellers, fertility experts, nutritionists, bartenders. Each appointment felt like a choose-your-own-adventure book with countless paths to take. And the strange part was, I thought this was going to be this really serious surgery, but all the doctors made it sound like a routine dental procedure or cleaning, like, oh, we're going to go in, we're going to scrape here, then scrape here, rinse, and send you home. Thank goodness Dr. V was familiar with appendix cancer, and she directed me on the right path. The one thing that was clear was that I needed to heat it to beat it with CRS and HIPEC, just a casual Tuesday for Dr. Sardi. That was just the beginning of my journey. I could not have prepared for what was to come. Before the surgeries, the doctors warn you, recovery is not going to be easy, but they are liars. The recovery is brutal. Someone just said brutal. Someone knows. The side effects just kept on coming. I had hair loss, weight gain. My 40th birthday present was finding out that I'm in surgical menopause. I felt alone and hopeless. Thanks to a simple Google search, I found an organization called PMP Pals, and they have a weekly support group. Yes, PMP Pals. They have a weekly support group meeting called Hope Zoom. I really didn't want to log into another Zoom. I was enjoying being out of work in recovery, not in front of a computer at all, but I figured let me try it. For those who don't know, it sounds like a lot of people know PALS, which is amazing. PMP PALS is the world's oldest volunteer-run support community for patients and caregivers living with appendix cancer and PMP. Joining this Zoom was probably the best decision I've ever made, which is a bold statement because I've made some questionable decisions. My friends over there know. They, week after week, offered real-life tips for recovery, mental and physical things, and what I needed most was they provided hope. That October, I attended an in-person PMP Pals conference, which is basically a group of appendix cancer survivors, their caregivers, and a whole lot of booze. Think Mardi Gras, but instead of flashing this way, we're flashing our scars, and instead of for beads, for Neosporin. I learned a lot that weekend, mostly that cancer survivors love to drink, and this evening is a testament to that, considering we're at a brewery. One of the speakers that weekend was someone named Joel Neeb, who's a fellow appendix cancer survivor, and he wrote the book, Survivor's Obligation. That concept of survivor's obligation shifted everything for me. The concept is simple but powerful. It's that we don't have to do anything, but we get to. We get to turn something devastating into something meaningful, to live an intentional life and define what matters. When faced with a cancer diagnosis, we often think negatively and have survivor's guilt, which is not the same as Jewish or Catholic guilt. Those are more generational and far more organized. One you're born with, one you learn. But we ask things like, why me? What did I do to cause this? Why am I still here and others didn't make it? Joel made me realize that I was asking the wrong questions. What I should be asking is, what can I do now to honor those who are no longer living here? Am I living authentically? Who's buying the next round and what's taking so long? But I'm still here, which means I have an opportunity, an obligation to live intentionally and reshape my purpose. Don't get me wrong, survivorship has not been easy, although I think I'm handling it well, until you speak to my therapist or see my garbage with all the empty bottles of Cabaret, but that's cancer survivor. 4 years later, I'm still living with side effects. I'll be on surveillance for the rest of my life, but I've realized I get to be on surveillance. I get to go get those scans and that tumor marker blood work. And because of that, I can carry this obligation to honor those who cannot. And I think that that is living proof that there is life beyond an abdominal cancer diagnosis. And that's my survivor's obligation. So I challenge everyone here and everyone on Facebook watching to take advantage of this opportunity that we have as survivors. Start simple, spread awareness about diseases like appendix cancer, volunteer with organizations like the Abdominal Cancers Alliance or PMP Pals to help us build a stronger, more empowered community of survivors and caregivers. But most importantly, embrace your living proof no matter what that looks like. Thank you so much, everyone.